Hello everyone, welcome to Bounded Core Theory Part 2. Crystal Quarry. I think it'll go pretty much the same as last time. Let me get comfortable, hold on. So, the volume might be a bit inconsistent across the series because all I'm doing is bumping it up to about 3 times the sound. But I'm not gonna be all that precise with it, bro. Okay, I definitely am. Anyways. Also, sometimes my voice might dip a little bit lower. That implies my voice is gonna get deeper. No, it's like I'm gonna talk a little, quieter sometimes by accident, which is why I boost the sound in CapCut. Anyway, let's go. Crystal Quarry. At one point, it was an active mining site. Although mining quickly stopped when the infection started spreading. Even after all the mining, the area is still filled with the electric crystals that were once sought after. Pay attention to that although mining quickly stopped when the infection started spreading thing. That's going to be important when we get to Lurk Strider. First, Bubble Mound. Although incapable of moving or attacking, they have the same awareness as any other machine. Their original purpose is unclear. As long as you don't touch their bubbles, they can't harm you. I do want to do a bit crossing over and go to Beacon City for Orbital. Why would I mention Orbital? Built to perform simulations and generate new ideas, they designed almost all of the city's innovations and machines. Each one stores unique knowledge. Pretty smart, right? Bubble Mound, however. Why do they have the same awareness as any machine, though? I think this is because I used to think that maybe they were testing for intelligence originally, but they failed. But I think I have a better theory here. I think they were definitely built to test two things. One, the material that we find in the crystal quarry, and two, protective shielding. Now, these were built to test the material, so they were put through some tests and stuff. And then they decided, well, we have all these orbs around here, why not test them with something else? They're useless orbs, why not make them useful? So they decided to test protective shielding here. This was the first iteration of protective shielding. Sometimes during testing, the shields would butt off little pieces, thus the bubble mound, but mostly, yeah. This is also what allows items to protect themselves when they fall into different materials like lava, so they don't burn or melt down into useless scraps of metal. So, yeah, and we can actually see something similar to this type of protective shielding in the shield unit. Use the shield whenever you stop moving. It has to be charged after taking it off. Now notice that it's only when you stop moving. I think they haven't exactly perfected the technology yet, but it's pretty dang good. I also think that running into your shield, there is a risk of running into your shield by accident. So they decided, we're just gonna make it so that you can't do that drill. Pretty easy. They just drilled around creating tunnels. I do think that the crawler hole, for reference, is about 12 feet tall. This scales pretty well with pretty much everything in the game. The drill would create pretty big and create big enough holes in the ground for people to go through, and mostly made for machines. Anyway, wire maw. Long ago, their powerful jaws were used to crush large ores into smaller pieces. They literally told you exactly what they did before. I mean, there's nothing else about it. Volt Striker. By harnessing the power of the quarry's crystals, they are able to attack by shooting arcs of lightning. It says they can harness the power of the quarry's crystals. So, I think they would harness the power of these crystals and store them in a little battery compartment that could be taken out when they went up to the surface or something. I do think less likely they shocked it into machines, but that's potentially dangerous, and I think they would just go with the battery compartment thing. Lyric Strider. Originally built to carry materials over long distances, they were later armed with makeshift weapons to defend the quarry from the spreading infection. It says they were later armed with makeshift weapons, meaning the infection popped up pretty dang quickly. So, and they hadn't noticed, so they were like, oh shoot, we need something now. Now, what does this weapon sort of resemble? A beefed up version of the Roller's weapon, made with this new material. I mean, they already had the Roller's weapon design, so they could sort of copy that. So, yeah, that's pretty much what they did there. And the last thing for Volt Part, once the infection reached Beacon City, Volt Parts were hastily designed to defend the quarry. Since they were quickly replaced by Volt Strikers, not many were produced. So this means that Volt Strikers didn't have a purpose before. I didn't think about that. Oh shoot, I might be cooked. This thing might be falling apart as we speak. The Volt Strikers were also made. Okay guys, this doesn't explain why they're able to shoot arcs of lightning, because if they just damage the battery compartment to do that, they explode or something. So that does explain it. But the Volt Hearts were made before then. So originally, maybe they were already working on the Volt Striker to, do what I said its original purpose might have been. But then when the infection started, they were like, never mind, let's make this into a weapon. So they did that. Anyways, before then they had to use Volt Hearts to defend it. And then once they had the Volt Striker design done, they decided, okay, phew, we're not cooked. Something I do want to mention. Remember the top of the world thing I mentioned in the last episode? That I said would become important later? Well, now is a good time to expand on that. Anyways, Lost Scrapyard at the top of the world. Crystal Quarry directly beneath it. Then beneath that is Beacon City, the Desolate Drains, the Rising Hollow, then Kinetic Workshop, then Volcanic Chasm, then whatever this is. Seriously, I'm scared for whatever is hiding in here. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that. And the Volcanic Chasm literally confirms this. Like, literally says it. Located directly under Kinetic Workshop. I'm going to torture myself with this later today, aren't I? Hold on, let me just do this. Jesus, this looks horrifying. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and Volt Circuits also drop core filters. I mean, Volt Hearts. Maybe this was a special color changing core filter, so that they could hide from infected robots by making their core filters look red. And they could prove themselves to uninfected robots by changing their core filters to blue. So I think this core filter that they dropped, it was meant to be a special color changing one. So yeah. Ooh, I think that's all the theories I have. Okay. Yeah, that's the theory for right now.